my movie-loving brothers and sisters, thank you guys for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon on the Screen Talk Live YouTube channel, where we like to talk about all things movies, movie news, and other screen-related topics. I am, of course, your humble hostess with the mostest, Keaton Toothman, and I am joined today by my friend, colleague, and master of his domain, Trevor Farney.
I am here. I am somewhere. Where is here, though? That's the question.
How you been doing, Trevor?
Fantastic, man. I've booked myself in a whole bunch of stuff, but it's all good stuff, and I'm ready to do it.
Well, we're glad to have you here on the Screen Talk Live YouTube channel, where you guys are joining us, and we appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can have your movie news when you need it and where you need it. Just to get a few things out of the way, we do have an Xbox Series S we're giving away on the channel, and there is a video up for that. Go definitely check it out. But to give you a quick rundown, if you send in a super chat during a live show, including today's live show, it enters you in for a chance to win that Xbox Series S. So make sure you guys are doing so if you want a shot at winning that Xbox. Also, we do have our new channel membership up. Shout out to all our current channel members. It goes a long way to helping support the show and continue to make it improved and better for you guys. And yeah, so if you haven't checked out our channel membership, you can do so in the About tab in the Members Only section. So make sure you guys do so, and we appreciate any new members out there that we could acquire. Thank you to all our current members once again. Did get a little snow here today where we're at. That was kind of fun, different, unexpected. A little, rainy snow type of thing. Let's see what else. This week, I believe I am finally going to go out and see the movie Missing that was made by the creators of the movie Searching. And then I believe there is one other thing. Let me check and see what that was. Knock at the Cabin, February 3rd. Definitely going to check that out as soon as I can. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, I think that's about it. We just have a short show, just 3 main topics that we want to talk about. But the last one's going to take up a big chunk of our time. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our main topics today. And the topic screen is not working with me, so we're not going to be using it for a moment at least. Real quick, while I try to fix the topic screen, Trevor, you told me you've just finished 3 seasons of Twin Peaks. Give me a quick rundown on your favorite things, least favorite things, your overall thoughts, while I try to fix what we have going on over here.
Okay. Well, to be honest, the Twin Peaks might be one of the craziest things that my eyes have ever laid on. I mean, this is my second time watching it, and that is important because I am a big movie, TV, book. I love literature in all forms. And my teacher would always tell me that literature is never truly experienced until you see it or experience it twice. But even knowing that fact, I think Twin Peaks is the second show I've ever rewatched, ever in my life. And the reason that, and I won't say any spoilers, don't worry. But the reason I did is because it's one of those things where it's like, it's got a really interesting story, and the characters are absolutely fantastic. I mean, that's what really keeps you going through. But for someone like me, it like kind of whispers some of the secrets of the universe to you in a way that you couldn't understand, and like if someone were to say it. And throughout the whole thing, I mean, it's like the A-type of like what David Lynch is really kind of. When we say Lynchian, it's like, God, Twin Peaks is like the most Lynchian thing ever. It is unrelenting and wild. But some of my favorite parts about that show are, besides that really cool element that it's just such a visionary experience, it still is grounded in some of the best character work ever done. I mean, Dale Cooper, Sheriff Truman, Hawk, my God, Bobby, every single character in that show, Audrey, Laura, anyone that gets brought in, they bring like such a realness and an interest, because realness is one thing, interest in realness is way, way harder. And all of them have these really interesting and compelling stories.
What's your overall thoughts on the series? Is it thumbs up, thumbs down, and where do you put it in the kind of pantheon of a series is in general?
I mean, double thumbs up. And personally, I mean, I'd put it in the rarefied air of like, there's nothing better than it. There's other
Definitely
things that are
like
good. Yeah, right. Exactly. True that. There are other things that are maybe on the same theoretical level, but once you get to that kind of level, it just, to me, like, I can't pick between them, because like I know when I see them, I'm like, this is like, I would put it on, and I know this is a weird example to put it with, but that's why I'm doing it. I'd put it on the same level as like The Office. Like, both hold such high esteem and to me are made so technically well. But as far as me being able to tell you which one is better, I never could. You know, there's different moods, different experiences with both. So, and they're both like the apex of that for them. So, yeah, it's that far up there.
Yeah, for sure. I do want to say that a couple of years ago, I bought this DVD box set for $200, and I was told at the time that I was crazy for doing so. But it was one of 25,000 that were made personally by David Lynch, and it's called The Twin Peaks from Z to A. And it comes with literally everything he's ever filmed and made, Twin Peaks, and so much more. And quite recently, I decided to go on eBay to see what that bad boy is going for, and keep in mind, I bought it brand new for $199. And used now, it's about $450. So, gonna be getting rid of a Twin Peaks Z to A box set if anyone out there wants one. But I've got the show ready to go, I believe. We're gonna jump in to our first main topic today, and our first main topic today is this. So our friend of the show, Noah Farney,
that's right,
gave me a call a little bit earlier to let me know that one of our beloved shows was in trouble. The news came out a week or so ago about Justin Roiland and his, domestic thing that happened. We didn't report on it here just because it's not really that big of a deal and big of news. I'm not the biggest. I mean, I like Rick and Morty, but I'm not like running out to see it when it comes out. I just watch it when it's around and when it's on. So it's just not something that's prevalent, like here for me, that I want to care about enough. But there's this news that Noah informed me about, and I have this article here coming to us from the guys at Screen Rant, if I can get this pulled up here. And yeah, it looks like that after all of this stuff, that Justin Roiland's going to be out of continuing to create Rick and Morty. So let's read a little bit of this article. As he faces felony domestic abuse charges from a former relationship, Justin Roiland has been fired from Rick and Morty, with plans to reportedly recast the show's voice roles. Roiland co-created the hit Adult Swim animated comedy series with community vet Dan Harmon, based on a Back to the Future parody short, and also stars as both the titular mad scientist and his grandson as they venture through the multiverse on bizarre and poignant adventures. With the show scoring widespread acclaim and strong ratings for the network, Rick and Morty is set to continue through season 10, though will be missing one of its most central figures. The official Rick and Morty Twitter account has just revealed that the Adult Swim has officially cut ties with the series star and co-creator Justin Roiland. The announcement post does assure that the series will continue without Roiland at the helm, and that the creative team behind the series are hard at work on season 7. A subsequent report from The Hollywood Reporter indicates that Roiland's voice will be recast for the show's future, with Dan Harmon will now be credited as Rick and Morty's sole show runner. The news comes from Rick and Morty firing nearly 2 weeks after it was reported that Roiland had been charged with one count of domestic battery with corporal injury and a count of false imprisonment back in 2020 in his home in Orange County, California. Filed by a Jane Doe, whom he was in a dating relationship with at the time, Roiland initially pleaded not guilty and was released on a $50,000 bond August that year, with his attorney issuing a statement more recently asserting his client's innocence and hopes of clearing the Rick and Morty co-creator's name. A protective order was reportedly filed against at the time of the initial charges, with reports also indicating Roiland had been presented with a plea deal during a recent trial hearing. So to further more about how much no one really cares about this, guys, this happened back in 2020. It's 3 years later now, and now he's being fired for it, and now we're discussing it here. That seems like a long time ago for us to just now be talking about it. And yeah, I'm gonna say, for me, this news isn't shocking. We live in this reactionary society where, as soon as headlines are out about something negative, it's like, hey, get that guy out of here, and we don't want to see him again. So it's not surprising at all. It's definitely not surprising that they're going to continue the series without him, because they just signed that huge ass deal. So they're not going to not do it just because of this, because they've got so much money invested in it. So they're not going to just burn their money. So that's not surprising to me as well either. And obviously, then that means it's not surprising that they're going to recast his voice. What is the question to me, I guess, for me would be, moving forward, is this the same? Is it completely disastrous without Justin Roiland?
Yes.
Is it able to continue to move forward? Does it move forward and Justin Roiland isn't there, but he's there? He's on the phone. He's making decisions still. Look, I don't know how this really works out. And then does this, in his innocence, if this went to trial and he was found not guilty, I mean, do we see a James Gunn Disney thing here where 2 years later, hey, we're hiring or Justin Roiland back, I'm not really sure. All I know is the facts that we have now. He has these accusations against him. And it seems that the decision has been made to cut ties with him. So ties are cut. No more Justin Roiland, but the series will continue to move on. It's currently working on season 7, so it looks like 7, 8, 9, 10, right? 3 seasons without Justin Roiland moving forward. Trevor, you're hearing this news, I suppose, for the first time. What are your thoughts? I know you're a huge Rick and Morty fan, but what are you thinking?
They ain't making it to season 8. There's no way. That's a lot of news to take in. One, if he really is guilty of some serious physical
Domestic abuse,
I mean, yeah, maybe. I think at least you got to take him off. You gotta we gotta punish actions like that. I mean, and I think someone with that level of power, if you're making those kind of decisions, you maybe prove that you don't deserve that level of power. So as far as should he be gone? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe a trial. I don't know. People are mistaken. They're flawed. They do stupid shit all the time. I don't know. It's not okay in any way to harm other people, period. It's especially not okay to harm your partner in any way, shape, or form, but I also just get that people are stupid and they make mistakes. So I don't know. That is a very gray area that I'm not really sure how I feel about. As far as Rick and Morty, all right, look, I understand why you think you would want to keep making this show, but you are going to waste your money. This is a stupid, stupid ultimate decision, because he is Rick and Morty.
Yeah, but they really waste their money if they don't do the show, right?
No, because now if they just cancel it, because that's it for him.
Then that means all that money that they spent for the rights to it just goes out the door.
True, but
so
at this
there's
point
no
now,
making money from this.
Right.
You just keep making content is what you're going to keep doing. I mean,
yeah, but at the problem. Well, I mean, they're still going. There has to be that back end money from the advertising and all that stuff to be able to fund the fact that they keep doing this. And without him, it's not coming. Like, it's not going to be coming. Nobody is going to watch this show. I guarantee you no one is going to watch the show without him, because not only is he the two main characters, he created the show. This is his show. And now you're going to, it would be like running the Amanda Bynes show without Amanda Bynes. You don't. You don't do it.
I don't know if it'd be like that. It'd be more like running Family Guy without Seth MacFarlane.
Which
it'd be more like that. But no, because Amanda Bynes you're seeing Amanda Bynes, so it's not that was not the same. But the Seth MacFarlane one is
Morty.
And Seth MacFarlane is Peter Griffin and all of that too. But at the end of the day, it still has to move on, because I also think about this, Trevor. There's also, thousands, probably hundreds, at least thousands of people that have jobs that are, that work on this set. And because of one man's fuck up, we're going to now say, hey, you all lose all of your jobs are now over
business,
with.
Man.
But that's not the business.
He is the creator. He is the reason they all have the job. He is. And now he's gone.
Right, but I guarantee you
he
would say, hey, man, don't punish all of these people for what I've done, because they still have families and contracts and money that, see, it's all about continuing to push it, because at the end of the day, the majority of the viewers that watch this particular show are in a demographic of like 14 to 21 years old. So in that demographic, I mean, is a 14 or 15-year-old really going to notice a big difference?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I don't know if they will. I
Guarantee
don't know if a 14-year-old would notice that big of a difference,
I guarantee you, bro.
I mean, has The Simpsons had the same writers and the same crew for 35 seasons? I'm sure
a lot of them.
I'm sure they've and it's always been The Simpsons.
The other most important part is that this is a good example. Simpsons. Anyone who is a longtime fan of The Simpsons can tell you, first 10 seasons of The Simpsons, great. After that, it's slowly and eventually dramatically dropped in quality, right? Because as time goes on, you lose those original writers. And this isn't even they still have Groening over there. Groening is still attached, right? But they lose some of their writers, and it loses some of that touch and that sparkle. But they still have Homer Simpson. They still have Marge Simpson. They still have the people that made the show. And this show is Rick and Morty. Without Rick and Morty, it all falls apart. And he is Rick and Morty. So I understand why they would keep going. That's the way they were always.
But that's the thing is that, and I say the same thing with Family Guy. At this point, he's really just doing voices. MacFarlane. He is doing little of the writing and shit. Like, he has a group that's been doing it, and they do the majority of the stuff. So at the end of the day, if you took MacFarlane out, the only thing you would truly be losing from Family Guy is the voice. And as you and I both know,
important.
There is voice actors out there that are just as well as suited, if not better, that have better reputations and have done better things, that could probably mimic the voice of Brian Griffin or Peter Griffin, or in this case, Rick or Morty. I mean, I've had friends that can sound like these dudes. So, and I get it that it would still be slightly different. I understand that, but the majority of the show, the jokes wise and stuff, would probably be somewhat the same. So I think if you could get voices that sound similar enough, I think that you could get away with it, because I don't think the writing changes much. I don't think he had his hands at this point, season 7. I think he's at the point, he was burnt out on this. He didn't want to sign the deal. He only signed the deal because he wanted to sell out. He wanted the money. He wanted to cash the big check. That's the only reason why. He knew he didn't want to do it. And he has slowly put more of the control of the creation into these other people's hands, and took in more of a backseat responsibility of just being a voice actor. And I think because of that, I think we could see a very similar show.
I disagree with that completely, because let's look at Roiland's other show. His other show is a carbon copy of Rick and Morty. It looks like it. It sounds like it. It feels like it. It's all that. Like the writing, it's the writing and the style of that. You feel Dan Harmon in there. If you're a fan of Dan Harmon, you know Dan Harmon, but his is getting that overall story together. right? And he's great at telling the big story. Roiland goes in and he fills in all that stuff. And without that is what makes Rick and Morty a lightning in a bottle. Will there be some people that are going to watch it still? Sure. But it's without him, it's gone. Like the lightning, the thing that captured the world's attention is gone, which in this market, that is what you need. And they lost it.
Yeah.
And again, I will go back to the original. Probably deserved it.
Right.
He probably deserved it. It sucks that this one idiot's decisions are going to go ahead and cascade, and it will. I'm not going to put money on it, but I would almost bet that it will be done by season 8, or at least the viewership will have dropped off so much they're having the conversation, because he is crucial to this thing.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that big of a deal because there's only 3 seasons left on the contract, and I think that they could ride that. I think it would take that long for people to start really fussing about it, and by that time they'd be like, hey, we're done with it anyway, bro, so you guys do whatever the hell you want. I mean, again, there's only 3. I mean, they signed like a 5-season deal. They're 2 into that, so they only have 3 left. I mean,
yeah, but people's attention is really, really hard to get. And if you...
Yeah, but they got it like a mother crazy right now, right?
Yeah, but then they just lost it.
But they didn't, though. They haven't yet.
They lost mine?
Yes, but they haven't lost their demographic yet. That 14 to 21-year-old range, they don't listen to... When I was 14, I didn't give a damn about who was committing domestic abuse, bro.
Well, yeah.
I didn't care about none of that kind of shit. The creators of the shows I watched, I knew nothing about those people when I was 14.
I did.
Nothing.
Know about
Not a
that.
thing. I thought the pirate from SpongeBob was the guy that created it. I knew nothing.
Was when suddenly my characters are sounding one way, and then suddenly, that's weird. My character. I'll give you the best possible example. Pokemon. All right. Mm-hmm. The first 8 seasons of Pokemon were done by 4Kids TV, the dub. Mm-hmm. Great. And in this team, they had a team of writers and they had a team of actors, right? Mm-hmm. And when they could no longer pay for it, Pokemon sold from 4Kids, and they made their own company called Pokemon USA. And instead of buying all these people out of their contracts, they just hired all new people. And the viewership of Pokemon went woof like that. And it's still hard enough to where it's still getting money, but it dropped way off because you took out the main writers.
But it didn't drop off enough for it to be away, though. That's the thing. That thing's gone on. In fact, I mean, they even remade the original Pokemon movie with the new cast, and that was a hit. In fact, it's got better ratings than the original one.
Yeah, but that's because... at the time,
I don't know. I think the kids, that's the problem is when you're a kid, and Pokemon's demographic is even younger. So now we're talking about an 8-year-old who cares about that shit. Well, you're very few and far between, my friend.
No, I know
your average 8-year-old does not give a damn about who created Pokemon or if they hit their wife.
Well, the second one for sure.
They don't give a damn about.
They may not care about the fact that the creator was different, but the creator being different changes the quality. It changes the whole thing up.
Right, but the quality to an 8-year-old and to me are going to be way different.
Sure.
So an 8-year-old, you can almost just put colors on and just be good.
I remember having conversations with many of my friends about Pokemon. When it happened, I was like,
Trevor,
dude, what happened?
Trevor, the original Pokemon movie is like a 12 or 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, so it just goes to show you that people didn't even see that as good like we did. So it could be very divisive either way. All I'm saying is I think that it could at least write his contract out before it starts getting a real fuss. But what do you guys think about this? You guys are hearing all this information about Justin Roiland, no longer there at Rick and Morty. Do you guys think it'll continue on successfully or not? Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. All right, with that down, we're going to jump into our second main topic today on another very divisive kind of subject. I want to talk about, and this is kind of old news too, but Alec Baldwin was officially charged with manslaughter in the Rush shooting, which I'm sure most of you guys already know about. So let's read a little bit of this from Yahoo Entertainment. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Alec Baldwin has been charged with involuntary manslaughter after he fired a prop gun whilst filming the movie Rust and fatally wounded a crew member, Helena Hutchins. He could now face jail time as a result of the tragedy. Another crew member, director Joel Salza, was also injured after a bullet hit his shoulder. Baldwin has consistently denied any wrongdoing and formally apologized to Hutchinson's family for the incident. Speaking to ABC News in December 2021, he said plainly, "I would never point a gun at anyone and pull the trigger at them, never." Which I would just like to say plainly, it's clearly a lie. You did do that. That's just bad way to phrase shit, Alec Baldwin. Again, the quote was, "I would never point a gun at anyone and pull the trigger at them, never." You literally did that, and as an actor, sometimes that's just your job. So really weird thing to say. I do, it goes on to talk about, what he has to say about after the shooting and how sad everyone is and all this. Look, all I want to say is my opinion on this is crazy and ridiculous. As someone who has been on movie sets and who has acted in movies, to think that I could, be an innocent member of a killing who just happened to be doing my job, and then be charged for that. This is egregious. This is ridiculous. This is stupid. This is flat out dumb. There was quotes from the district attorney, the DA of the location where it happened. He's like, "Oh, no deaths get by me and everyone has to pay." Look, man, everything can't be a witch hunt. At the end of the day, what sucks about life the most sometimes is tragedy. And that is what this is. It's a tragic event that no one wanted to happen, but nobody at the end of the day is truly responsible for actually killing someone, especially not Alec Baldwin.
Right.
And to think that he would even be charged is crazy. There's lots of other things that have happened where police I have watched with my own eyes murder human beings on film, and we've all seen it, and they never get charged. They get promoted and they move on in their jobs. And in this case, a clearly innocent man who again was just a bystander in a very tragic event is now has to maybe lose 2 years or 3 years of his life for something, again, that he had known. I mean, it's just crazy. You could try to compare this to vehicular homicide if you want, but it's not the same. He was not in control of the vehicle. That he did not know where the vehicle was going. He did not have his hands on the wheel. Look, at the end of the day, what I think everyone needs to do is put their heads down and really put their heads together and let this be a growing point for movies moving forward, and let everyone understand that we need to be more in control of these situations and know what's going into these weapons. Right. And at the end of the day, what more could we get from that? Like I said, this is just a witch hunt. Sending Alec Baldwin to jail or even just charging him is just trying to get my ounce of blood. And there is no ounce of blood in this situation. Alec Baldwin did not kill someone in cold blood. Look, I'm not even an Alec Baldwin fan. I could give a damn. But it doesn't matter who this is. I'm a human being. And at the end of the day, this man is an innocent man who should not even be charged. If the charges go through, he will be found not guilty if they even are able to make it past the preceding hearings, which I doubt they will. A judge will look at this and go, man, look, no jury is going to even give this a shot. And I don't think they would. I think a jury of 12 peers are going to go, damn, man, this is a tragic situation, but it's not Alec Baldwin's fault. And I think that's obvious and clear to all of us. And again, this is just crazy and egregious to me, and I don't agree with it whatsoever. And that's, like I said, coming from a guy who really isn't the biggest Alec Baldwin fan to begin with. They have continued filming on Rust. It will continue to move along. Yeah, Trevor, you're hearing this news. What do you think about, Alec Baldwin, actor, doing his job and now being charged and maybe going to prison for it?
Well, first and foremost, it is absolute shit. And I'm gonna break down, because I've worked with some people who have been in the industry, like on the real sets. So I have a little bit of insider knowledge of how this stuff actually works, and it actually makes it even crazier that they would even think about it. So let's say I'm on set and my hair just kind of falls down and it's kind of in my way. I can't even touch it. I can't breathe on it. I can't move it. Otherwise, I will get in big trouble because that is makeup and hair's job. And I would be taking away their job by doing that. And that's how it is with any SAG film, any of them. And this had freaking Alec Baldwin in it, okay? This is an official film. This is a massive, massive crew of people. Hundreds and hundreds of people are on this thing, right? Alec can't fucking check. He literally cannot check to see if it's loaded. He literally cannot do anything other than just do exactly what they told him to do, which is point here, shoot here. That is all he can do, period. He literally can't do anything else at all with it, right? So he has no fault in any theoretical way or any way possible. If you were to tell me, and I think this may be the case, that the girl who was in the prop master got charged with manslaughter, I'd understand that because that is kind of like vehicular manslaughter.
Yes, but even then,
you're dealing with dangerous.
It's kind of like, because listen, at the end of the day, if the person, let's say it's your mother, Trevor. Let's say it's your mom, and she is that person that was in charge, and she loaded that bullet. And she says, look, Trevor, yeah, I had, real bullets because I was doing this other thing, and I guess they got mixed in, and me and your dad have been fighting all day, and my head was just so mixed up, and it just happened, and it was the worst thing that I've ever done. And is this the person that we... I mean, because again, vehicular homicide is usually under the pretense of alcohol or drugs or the inability to operate the vehicle.
Yeah.
What this woman was dealing with was what we all deal with, stress. But she has a really important job, and should she be fired from her job?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's no question to that. Should she be ever given a chance probably to resume such a position?
Nope.
Probably not.
Botched it. But
should she go to prison for 5 years? Man, I think all I would say is I think that it becomes, like I said, a witch hunt at that point.
Yeah.
It becomes, well, I lost mine, so now you have to lose something. Right. And look, guys, as a human being, that is a fucking trash way to live. Yeah, we do not have to continue to live an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth bullshit. It is just a bullshit way of living and a way of looking at things. And at the end of the day, her going to prison for 5 years is never going to bring any justice or any life back to the woman who lost her life or the man who was shot in the shoulder. It does nothing for no one. Even the family of the person who died would probably be like, look, I mean, what does this do for us? Again, it's not like this woman walked up and hunted their mother down and killed her. Right. It was an accident. Yeah. And it would be no different if you were turning right, Trevor, and you had just forgot to put on your blinker. That's a simple thing. Not you were driving drunk and you forgot to put it on. But like you were busy, you just got off work, you're hungry, you forgot to turn on your right blinker. The lady didn't know because your blinker wasn't on. Boom.
Yeah.
Now, does that justify you going to prison? I don't think so, man. Here's a guarantee. What it justifies is a tragedy. Yeah. And I think the best thing that we can do from this is try to learn and grow and try to understand, this is why we develop cars that, start turning on turn signals for you as they see you turning the wheel and stuff. We're trying to better these things for us to prevent these things. But at the end of the day, persecuting someone who makes a mistake is very hard, but I understand when it takes someone's life. And it's easier for us to say, I understand too, when it's not our mom or daughter or kid or whatever that was killed. So I completely understand that too. But I think I don't think there's any justice in this. And charging or in convicting. Let's say they convict Alec Baldwin and he has to go to prison for 5 years. Right. That's crazy. That dude's like 60-something anyway.
He has to be.
I mean, right? I mean, jeez. It wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Plus, he would pay.
Yeah,
He'd
lots
go to
of money,
whatever
yeah.
prison he wants. He'd have Xbox and internet
Right.
and normal Alec Baldwin shit.
Right. So who are we really doing anything
Who is
for?
winning here, man? At
No
the end of
one's
the day,
winning.
we need to mourn the life that was lost and honor it.
Just let it
There's
be.
a film still that needs to be made. And I remember the family early on saying, listen, my mom out of anything will want to make this movie.
Right.
Let's get this movie made, you know? And at the end of the day, that's what the best thing I think they could probably do to honor this lost
I agree with
fallen
that, yeah.
person. And it looks like they are trying to move back into getting the movie going. And I hope they do. And look, man, again, not a big Alec Baldwin fan, but
me neither.
hey, dude, I feel your pain, bro. I mean, that's crazy. And
I've been in some pretty stupid
in a world
situations
where
for pretty
Ezra
small
Miller
things.
can abduct,
Yeah, right.
someone's child,
Tell that one.
feed it LSD, and get a month of or a year of probation.
But Alec Baldwin's
I just
faithful.
don't understand. I just don't get it, man. I really don't. I just don't understand. But yeah, so you guys are hearing this. I mean, Alec Baldwin has been officially charged with manslaughter. What are you guys' thoughts on it? Do you think this is the right move, the bad move? How do you think they should go about this and honoring the woman that has fallen? Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. All right, with that down, we're going to jump into our third and final main topic and something a little bit more fun and loving to talk about. And that is something I've been talking about all year long. And I don't think I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm going to talk about it everywhere, every time, all the time. And that is Everything Everywhere All at Once, leading the 2023 Oscar nominations as predicted here on the channel by yours truly. In a video not that long ago, months ago, when we first started the show, where I have the great Michelle Yeoh up with a bunch of championship rings on, insinuating that there would be lots of championships won for this movie.
As it should.
Let's look at this article I have pulled up over here, coming to us from Vulture, and I just want to use this because this is the one I found first that had a full layout. So for Best Picture, we have first All Quiet on the Western Front, which I keep going by and thinking, man, it looks good. And then I Google it and see the Rotten Tomato score, and I'm like, damn.
Sounds good.
And then I'm like, I hate wars. Never gonna watch it. Avatar, The Way of Water. This is surprising to me. This really is surprising to me. I think that this gets a lot of that attention and love because, again, it is like the best looking movie I've ever seen. The Banshees of Inisherin. Haven't seen this one. Elvis has been nominated for Best Picture. I'm just going to say it. It's a down year at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is clearly the superior movie of this whole list so far of everything we've named.
Let's get it.
One second here. And let's see. We go on to Spielberg's new movie, The Fabelmans, which I still haven't had a chance to check out. Kate Blanchett's Tar, which I still have not had the chance to check out. Top Gun Maverick, which, again, this is a surprise. This is a weird Oscars, right?
Yeah.
This seems like it's like, oh, let's pick all the things people liked, which is like the opposite of what the Oscars has done since the beginning of time. In fact, they've always kind of criticized Marvel, the Marvel franchise and Marvel movies for doing so. But it appears that, in this year, we're going to get Elvis, Avatar, Top Gun. The fact that Black Panther 2 is not on this list or something, one of those is just shocking to me at this point. We move on to The Triangle of Sadness and Woman Talking, which I know nothing about some of these movies. And I'm just going to, my bias tells me that this is an easy, clean sweep award win for Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I cannot express enough enough, guys. If you have not seen this film, you must. It is a must-see film. Let's see. We move on to Best Director, which first up is Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert from, you guessed it, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And then we have Martin McDonough for The Banshees of Inisherin and Todd Field for Tar, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, and Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness. This seems like another no-brainer to me. Best Actor. Again, in a must-be-down year at the Oscars, Austin Butler, newcomer, has been nominated for Elvis.
He should be nominated for that.
Okay,
for
all
sure.
I want to say is, was Taron Egerton nominated for the biopic on Elton John? Because if not, then I don't care. I don't know. He may have been. He should have been.
He should have been.
If this guy's getting it, then he should have been.
Yeah, because that's the same level of performance.
Colin Farrell and the Banshees of Inisherin. God, I got to see that. Love me some Colin Farrell. Brendan Fraser.
That my boy.
Making the comeback of a lifetime. We're the Fraser Assance. For The Whale, the movie I keep telling you guys I want to get out and see. I'm going to try. And then Paul Mescal for After Sun, and then Bill Nye for Living. No Best Actor nom for Michelle Yeoh, guys? Really?
She deserves
Come
both.
on. Over Austin Butler? Come on.
Come on.
Where are we at? Best Actress. Oh, I mean, not Michelle Yeoh. I mean, what's his name?
The short round guy?
Yeah.
Maybe he's Best Supporting.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah. He better be. He should be.
I think he's probably supporting.
Best Actress, Cate Blanchett? Probably.
Yeah.
Anna De Armas and Blonde? No way! But I do love me some Anna De Armas.
I would watch her just sit
I
there.
just watch her read the phone book.
Yeah.
She could just read names
She
out of
just
the phone
read
book.
one name over and over again.
Yeah,
in
just
the
it's
phone
just like
book.
a GIF.
Yeah, exactly. Sherman Perherden.
And then Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, and Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, which again, never even heard of. Best Supporting Actor, we better see it. Brendan Gleeson from Banshees of Inisherin.
Wow, that
Judd
movie is
Hirsch
like
from The Fabelmans.
leading up,
Barry Cogan from The Banshees of Inisherin. Ki Hu Kwan from Everything Everywhere All at Once. And one of my big favorite actors out there, Brian Tyree Henry for The Causeway. That's great. Brian Tyree Henry has been nominated for an Academy Award. Let's see. Best Supporting Actress. Of course, it's none other than Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I'm going to say now, I think that that's going to take it. We also have Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin. Lots of stuff for The Banshees of Inisherin here. Jamie Lee Curtis, of course, from Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Hsu from Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Hong Chow from The Whale. Best Original Screenplay goes again to Tar, The Fabelmans, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Banshees of Inisherin, and Triangle of Sadness. Best Adapted looks like Living, Ryan Johnson's Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. That's interesting.
Nice.
Sarah Polley, Woman Talking, Edgar Berger, Ian Sokol, and Leslie Patterson, and All Quiet on the Western Front. Best Cinematography, looks like Elvis, Tar, All Quiet on the Western Front, and Bardo, False Chronicle of the Handful of Truths.
That sounds fun.
Right? Definitely gotta check that out. Best film editing. Go to The Banshees of Inisherin. Elvis, there's too much Elvis. There's no way that it deserves to be this many listed on the Academy Awards. Top Gun Maverick is also in editing. I could see that. See, now that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
you need some serious editing
That's like the
skills
best editing I've
to
ever
make
seen.
that work.
Yeah, bro.
For sure. Best Original Song. I'm guessing we're gonna see a Rihanna in here. Applause from Tell It Like a Woman. Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick. Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. There it is. And Natu from RRR. First nomination for RRR. You would think it would have got a little bit more love there in the Best Director and Best Picture category. This is A Life from Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Best Music, a.k.a. Original Score, is All Quiet on the Western Front. Babylon gets a little bit in here. The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. Best Visual Effects, it's going to be All Quiet on the Western Front again. Avatar: The Way of Water, the clear winner. Somehow it makes it in with its first nomination, The Batman, for Best Visual Effects. Screw you, Academy Awards.
Wait just a fucking... So Elvis... I'm getting out of here.
Right.
I can't do this no more.
Screw you, Academy Awards.
I'm out.
Also, Black Panther.
What is that?
Also, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Top Gun Maverick, Best Production Design, Elvis, The Fabelmans, Avatar, The Way of Water, Babylon, All Quiet on the Western Front, and Best Documentary Feature Film, which I haven't seen any of these yet. All the Breaths, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, A House Made of Splinters, and Navalny. All these sound interesting. Best Documentary Short Film, we don't care as much. Best Animated Feature Film. Here we go. Del Toro's Pinocchio, wonderful film. Marcel, The Shell with the Shoes On. I hear great things and want to see it. Hey, one that really deserves it, I'm glad to see it on the list. Puss in Boots, The Last Wish gets a chance at this. And also The Sea Beast, which I do not know, but I do know Turning Red, which was also a very good one as well.
That's really good.
Let's see if there's anything else in here. Best Sound, we have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman for its second bid here, Elvis, and Top Gun Maverick. Best Makeup and Hairstyle, All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman again, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Well. And The Batman and The Well specifically, I want to say, very deservedly so. They made Colin Farrell look unrecognizable as the Penguin. And then they made... Brendan Fraser.
A little bit.
We know what we're saying. Best Costume Design, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Miss Harris Goes to Paris, Babylon, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I would like to say that it's surprising to not see Batman in that one as well. But yeah, so we're seeing this stuff coming out of the Oscars. Trevor, I don't know what really I expected other than, Everything Everywhere All at Once to just freaking storm in and take everything. I believe it was nominated for a total of 11 Academy Awards, which is putting
tied,
it
right?
close up there to the record. I think
the record's 11, right?
I thought it was 12. And it's The Return of the King and...
I thought that was...
And something else.
Titanic, I think.
Yeah, maybe. So I think, and if not, then maybe it is 11, and then it's tied. Again, deservedly so. This movie's really good. But Trevor, you're hearing this information. You're seeing all these names and numbers. What sticks out the most to you? Are there any snubs that you see that, hey, why isn't this on there? Obviously, I think that, all of the Elvis stuff, and, coming from a guy who hasn't seen the movie, so, I guess take it with a grain of salt. But knowing what I got from the Batman, it's hard to see that name up there so many times and see the Batman so few times. I could probably come up with a couple other movies I've seen this year that weren't on that list either.
Northman wasn't on there at all.
There you go. There's another one.
Jeez.
How do you not do that for costume and makeup? Also for cinematography, for editing, for best director. Yeah.
Lighting, any of it.
Mm-hmm. Score. Had a wonderful score.
God,
Shout out to Robert Eggers, by the way, one of my favorite filmmakers right now. Yeah, I bet you're somewhere fucking stomping on Elvis CDs.
Yeah, right.
Deservedly so.
Well, and here's the thing, man. So this year I have not gotten to see near as many movies as I would like to. But this is a weird list. I even with not being able to see a bunch of them, I've seen a lot of the ones up there, and I'm just like, even just thinking back, I'm like, has there been no more, no better movies than this? I'll say this about Elvis. Elvis was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed Elvis, but and Austin as an actor deserved it because he was unreal good.
Is it better than the Taron Egerton?
Well, but he's not nominated this year.
Sure, I understand, but in a vacuum, You've only seen those 2 movies ever in your life. Which one's the best?
I'd have to think.
Okay.
Because
So it's close.
They're
then.
comparable.
Because
they're very comparable.
because Rocket Man was a good movie.
Yes, it was.
It really was,
But
and
his
it's a movie
performance
that
was
I
the
would
best.
be like, "Fuck no, dude! Don't make me go to this."
You know what?
And I
Honestly,
watched it. I was like,
It's
eh.
a lot like that. It's they're I think maybe Rocket Man as a movie was a little stronger because the story they were telling with Elvis, like the amount of epic things Elvis did in his lifetime just didn't fit into a movie. It's just like they're skipping over moments. That's like, dude, you could do so much on just this one moment, and you're going through it in 2 minutes. So as a movie, I felt like a narrative story. I don't feel like Elvis was the best. I don't think it belongs anywhere near an Oscar nomination for that. Austin Butler, yes, definitely, and I think even amongst them, maybe take off like one of them, but I will, and I think this is probably the main point because this is the stuff that I'm the strongest attached to. Is all right, whatever. If there wasn't a movie like The Batman out there this year that they left off in favor of it, I don't think I'd care. But now I do care because and especially in the same year that you're going to nominate Everything Everywhere All at Once, in the same year that you're going to nominate it, Avatar Shape of Water, which the story was not perfect. It was not like there were some times that the story was a little but God.
Visually great. It definitely deserves the best visual.
Absolutely.
In fact,
you're right.
there should be no category for that this year.
Right.
It should just be them.
Like they won already.
Right. We'll all concede to
left it
that
on
one.
the
Like
table. Right.
we all know
Right.
that that's the. In fact, I'm gonna say now, if that doesn't win, it's got to be the most unjust thing that's ever happened in the history of the Oscars, bro. I mean, I could not express enough how it is visually the most
The greatest thing
masterful
ever made.
thing
Yeah.
ever made on the silver screen. That's for
People
sure.
be talking about it like how fucking Citizen Kane lost to the How Green Is My Valley or something in like 39.
But man, in that sense, again, I didn't see Austin Butler and Elvis, but I will just say this. It's hard for me to imagine that movie being a better movie, period, in any
Definitely
way
is not.
than The Batman.
No way.
No way. And then it's really even hard for me to believe that Austin Butler playing Elvis was a better performance than my guy Robert Pattinson playing Batman, man. Like, I thought he did not get enough credit, dude.
No, I mean, he should have gotten
There was
nominated
so much stuff talked about on that movie. Colin Farrell, what's the guy's name that plays the Riddler?
Paul Dano.
Great, yes,
Again,
Paul Dano,
where's
great
his?
actor.
Where's his?
But it was not talked about enough. How this Twilight boy that everybody doubted, everyone shit on,
is the best
everyone
Batman.
said he wasn't working out or dedicated to the role enough or whatever. At the end of the day, he's Batman.
He is
Period.
Batman.
He's Batman. And he brought it, man. He brought it in every way. He brought it with black mascara on his fucking eyes, man. No, Clooney didn't do that. No one else did that. You'll never see no one do it because no one's really got that the balls that Pattinson brings to that role. He's willing to do things that other people aren't. And I think, honestly, of all the iterations of Batman we've seen, and I know people love Bale, and I'm not the biggest fan of Christian Bale's Batman, but I think he has been the definitive version, bro. Not just the movie, but I don't think enough credit is given to how much of a great actor that Robert Pattinson is. He's one of the best actors on the planet, guys.
Seriously.
And people just don't see that because he made the great decision to get out of all of this shit that you guys want to criticize him for, like Twilight, to go underground, to work with these brilliant directors, to make movies like High Life, to make movies like Good Times, like great, real good indie movies that you don't see because you don't want real movies, even though you say you want real, new Hollywood ideas, but you've never seen nothing Pattinson's been in but Twilight and Batman.
Right.
And so you're part of the problem. And if you don't understand that this dude is, listen, I don't know Austin Butler, but for to even think that we could be putting these two people's names in the same sentences feels egregious. It feels crazy to think, because Pattinson has put in a body of work that led him to be the Batman, bro. Right. And not just the Batman, but again, I will say it, the definitive version. He is the Batman. And if anyone we could have moving forward, we want to see no one more than to see this particular Batman continue moving forward. So it's hard for me to see that name and Elvis so many times.
I do want to make sure I defend my boy Fade Ruth's honor here, Austin Butler, because look, I'm everything you're saying about Pattinson, I could not agree more. If you have not seen his stuff, please shut the fuck up about your whining and just go watch it. So, but I'd put Butler's performance in there in the same level, man. Cause and I know Butler's a lot newer to the game, but that's what makes it all the more astounding, because I'm telling you what, man, there's a lot of very good biopic performances out there. You know, you got your Kyle MacLachlan as Raymond Zurich in The Doors. You got your
Rami Malek.
Yeah, you've got some great ones out there. But look, Elvis was and still is God to a lot of people, and for the fact that he was accepted by those people as Elvis in this thing. I mean, and he was him. Like, it was a performance, but it wasn't a mimic. It wasn't anything like that. It was like Elvis freaking Presley in all of his very particular glory was resurrected and was living on the screen for young Trevor to see. And for that reason alone, that movie was really pretty cool, because he was amazing, right? So he should be in there, but also Robert Pattinson should be in there. The rest of it should be switched. Like, everything that Elvis has besides that one should have been given
I could maybe agree, just taking your opinion that, Austin Butler deserves that nom. Okay, I believe you. But does the movie Elvis deserve a nom for Best Picture over the Batman? If you told me that, I would look you dead in your eye and be like, you're a liar or you're stupid. You're silly. You're one of the two.
I can't even believe it's happening.
Because again, that Batman movie, dude, look.
This is the best movie
outside of Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's the best film of the year, bro. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is the best film outside of Everything Everywhere All at Once. And if you were to tell me, hey, I think it's better than Everything Everywhere All at Once, I would hear you out. I would acknowledge your argument, but pretty much everything else I wouldn't. These were the two superior films, so it's hard for me to acknowledge anything else being in there. But you guys are hearing this. You're seeing all these lists of names. Is there snubs to you? Are there people that should or shouldn't be in there? Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. All right, with that down, we're going to jump over to the chat section. We've had a pretty active chat here. Let's start at the top. Noah says that Trevor is only master of his bathroom. Maybe.
It is true.
Let's see. Noah also says, I like Laura and her cousin, Laura with the black hair.
Yeah,
yes.
Laura the black hair.
Outstanding actresses.
Character work.
Yes. Both actresses are great. He's on the subject of Rick and Morty. He says, I mean, anyone can do their voices, to be fair, and I do agree with that. There's lots of voice actors out there that can at least sound like Rick and Morty, that's for sure. He also says, and all the contracted employees who deserve to be paid that didn't beat their GF. Yeah, right. No doubt. Looks like he thinks that he says he watched episode 31, season 31 last night, and that was incredible. And I believe he's talking about The Simpsons. And he says, you're wrong, Trevor. He believes that it will continue to be successful. Justin Roiland was the main driving force for the episodic anthology episodes. He also says, dude, anybody can do the Rick and Morty voices. LOL. Lucas jumps in here. I got a good question for y'all. Least deserving Oscar winner ever. I'm going to need to do some serious thinking on that. Oh.
I'm gonna look up a list of bad Oscars.
Oh no, this is easy. Oh God, the year that the Oh, God. Is it 12 Years a Slave?
Yeah.
That year that McConaughey, I believe,
Dallas Buyers Club
won for the Dallas Buyer Club.
Is that year?
I believe so. That is the one time I will definitively say that there was no particular. Look, I've never seen Dallas Buyers Club. Love Matthew McConaughey. I'm sure he's great in it.
He is great, man.
But what's his name?
Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Chiwetel Ejiofor should have won the Best Actor award that year for 12 Years a Slave. Period.
Yeah.
That is probably for me the one that jumps out into my mind where I think, damn, that was fucked up. And it felt like one of those white privilege kind of situations on top of it. But Trevor, what about you?
God, I'm like looking them up right now just to looking up some of the old ones to try and like to refresh myself on like some of these really bad ones. God, there's only been a few times that I've really disagree. I can't even really think of a time that I've like really hated it. God. I mean, I feel like Pacino winning for Scent of a Woman was very strange because it's just not that great of a movie, and it was in a hell of a year. And he's great as always, but it just kind of was like, oh, you know what? We might have missed you back when you were doing The Godfather. We're sorry about that. We'll go ahead and get you this round.
And what's the name of the guy that did Rosemary's Baby?
Oh, Roman Polanski.
Okay, yeah. And then I would like to include everything that Woody Allen and Roman Polanski ever fucking made.
Specifically, The
I would
Pianist, since it was in 2001,
I would like
30
to throw that in
years
there.
after he was accused and ran for raping a 13-year-old girl.
But let's move on. Let's see. Preach. Lucas says that's a trash way to live your life. Let's see. Lucas says, well, there is a precedent for the Elvis movie to be nominated. I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody won several awards. Yeah, it did. But again, I just don't look. All I want to say is this. And what has Rami Malek amounted to since?
Well, he was a Bond villain.
I don't want to talk shit on the dude. I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm just saying, how many Academy Awards has he won since? Or nominated? Or just great things? Like I said, sometimes, guys, it's about a body of work, too. And Robert Pattinson has that body of work. Yes, sometimes there's that star that's there for that year that's tearing it up. And that makes sense to have Austin Butler in that, for he's that guy. But it also still makes sense to have Robert Pattinson in that conversation, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, again, he's worked so hard to get to, he's the Batman.
Right.
He's the character that almost everyone wants to play.
He had to go through Twilight.
And yeah, and he had to fight through all of the hate in order to get there. So let's see. He says, do you think the Academy is just giving into the public's opinions because of the backlash they've had for the way it's been run forever? Clearly. I mean, come on. I mean, Top Gun Maverick. And I mean, look, if you gave me a list of the top 5 most selling movies this year, they've all been nominated for Academy Awards. Right. I don't think that's ever happened ever, dude. So, yeah, I would say the Academy is trying to lean into fan stuff. You know, they did that fan category a couple years ago, started that, which was fucking stupid and made no sense. Basically, you know, you pick 10 movies and the fans tell you what the best movie of the year was, and it could be, you know, who knows, you know, Pokemon Detective Pikachu. And what does that amount to? You know, that didn't really do anything. So, yeah, I think they are trying to kind of lean in this themselves so they can get more. At the end of the day, they want people to watch the Oscars, man. And the people are going to watch the Oscars if their favorite movies and the movies they like the most this year are up for a nomination for it. So, and look, I'm not saying it just seems not great. Let's see what else. He says, Austin Butler definitely deserves a nomination. Well, maybe, but again, is it over the fact, does he deserve it over Robert Pattinson being nominated for Batman? I could see them coexisting, but one shouldn't exist without the other, then I would say.
I agree with that. Because they're like the same level of performance. So it's like, why would,
like I said, one will go, there's no question right now in any of our minds who the better actor is there? Robert Pattinson is a way superior actor, again, with a body of work to prove it.
Well, I know that from him.
And it could be in 5 years.
potential
In 5
is
years,
high.
Robert Pattinson could have 3 Academy Awards.
Yeah.
In 5 years, again, this guy's going to be like Rami Malek, I bet. I bet in 5 years, it's like, yeah, remember the Elvis guy?
Well, yeah, but it's a little different with Remy because Remy he just was the Bond villain. He was the big Bond.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it didn't amount to much. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember people going, bro, did you see Rami Malek play that Bond villain? One of the best Bond villains ever played, or nothing like that. Like,
People liked it a lot.
Sure, I understand.
I loved him.
But I'm saying that about Robert Pattinson's Batman, bro. I'm saying we've had a history of 10 plus Batman films, and this is the best Batman ever.
Yeah.
Not just movie, but the dude playing it.
Yeah.
Look, if you lined up all the actors that ever played Batman, are any of them as good as Robert Pattinson? The only one close is Christian Bale. That's the only one. And I would accept he's just as good or maybe better. I would even argue that.
Right.
But outside of that, again, there's really been no one with that kind of true talent that Pattinson has, man. And it's gone swept under the rug for years. And I think it's just hard for me to stomach seeing him finally get his moment.
Right.
And then for no one to acknowledge it. He finally gets his moment, and then Colin Farrell's nominated, or something else, or the best makeup, or what? How is this movie not in Best Picture? How is it not? How's Matt Reeves not Best Director?
Dano. I mean, you can make the
There you
same
go.
argument with Dano.
There you
Paul
go.
Dano is one of the for his age, he has possibly the best body of work of anybody his age.
Right.
I mean, God, he's in Love and
Been
Mercy.
nominated for Academy Awards,
Yes,
though.
and should.
Where Pattinson,
that's
this
true.
is the thing that I think really irks me, is that I think this was his moment. This was a moment, at least, for Pattinson to have his name on the list of us going, former nominated for an Academy Award, Robert Pattinson. Right. And yeah, I mean, this was Batman 1, too. I think it's going to be tough to see him get that nom from Batman 2 or 3. You know, this was the one, I feel like. So I guess I'm going to say it. I guess I'm kind of butthurt for Pattinson.
Yeah, me too.
I think I've grown to really like the dude.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
Long
I really
before
love
Batman.
that movie, man.
Yeah.
Like, in fact,
That's a
us just
masterpiece.
talking about it
It's a
has made me
masterpiece.
think, God, I'm going to watch Batman later, you know?
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm
We're
just...
talking about this, I'm like, God damn it.
It's just
Only seen
so
it 3
good,
times.
bro. It's such a good fucking movie, man. And
I mean,
it's just...
and it's like in every way too, because it's like it's a movie. You know,
Yes.
like and it feels like you're in another world while still retaining that familiarity. It looks
Right.
like you're in this dark, evil painting, and you're just stuck in it, and everyone in it is killing. Yeah, that movie. The fact that it is not on there, and Elvis and Avatar and these other ones are. To me, that's what I would really more focus on, because like
it's definitely a better movie than Avatar.
Right. Way
I don't
better.
need to see Top Gun to know that the Batman's a better movie. I just don't need to.
I'm fine with Top Gun being nominated because Top Gun was real. Have you seen it?
No, but it's just
It is real.
It just
good.
feels weird.
I know. I would have
Especially
thought
not
the
seeing
same thing before seeing it. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, dude, this is a masterpiece. Like, it really does deserve to be in there." Like,
Yeah.
but I mean, but if you're gonna leave off Batman,
Right.
again, then I'm gonna have to question. I'm gonna be like,
Right.
well, okay,
And
if
then
that
and then
would've
to
been in
say
there,
that, you know, Austin Butler's performance is worth the nom, but the movie
it's not worth it at
over
all
Batman?
for the movie. No, the
Come
movie is
on.
a decent movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's a pretty. It's
Yeah.
It's,
I mean,
it's a
you even
basic
said
biopic.
as a movie, Rocket Man's probably a superior
Oh
film.
yeah. It's a basic biopic where the main character is allowed to give a great performance or fail, and he gives one. But then the rest of the movie is just kind of like there to let him do it, you know. And that's, you know, most biopics are kind of like that. And well, and I will say this about Elvis and this I think why I was a little disappointed with Elvis was that it didn't. It did not have to let it just be that performance piece. Elvis's life is so freaking interesting all by itself that you could have had the movie and then had a cool performance in it. But it was a performance piece where all of these amazing things, which should have been the forefront of the movie, were just kind of like real quick.
Yeah, and it looks like Lucas says that Taron Egerton was not nominated for an Academy Award, which again would even further fuel my fire of thinking there's no way then that this guy Austin Butler deserves it. But hey, I haven't seen the movie yet. Also, he says, I'm pissed that the Batman didn't get nominated for cinematography.
Yeah,
right?
right?
Are you kidding me?
Good God.
Man, that's crazy. Noah said, I'm mad you didn't get nominated low key. Yeah, you mean Screen Talk Live? I know, right? Let's see. He says, "Oh, Flatten probably would have came out. Yeah, it may have been nominated. Yeah, possibly. We'll try to squeeze it in for the 2023 Oscar season."
I think we can
let's
do
see.
it.
Lucas says, yeah, Elvis is a better movie than Rocket Man or than Batman. Because if you're saying it's better than Batman, you're no longer welcomed on the show.
It's he said it's better than Rocket Man.
Okay, maybe. I need to see it to say that. He said, a better movie than Rocket Man, that is. Okay, I see. It's nowhere near as good as the Batman, though. Thank God.
Right.
Because you were almost not ever allowed back on the show. I think it's fair to put Butler and Pattinson in the same sentences, but Pattinson has definitely had more credits. Then it's not fair to put him in the same sentence, bro. Again, one dude has put in a body of work, and one dude could have just struck luck. We could see Austin Butler in the next thing and be like, whoa, how the hell did he make that performance we've seen in Elvis? We just don't know. Where we know listen, if I was making a feature film today, and you're like, hey, who do you want to star in your film? We got these two guys, Austin Butler, Robert Pattinson. Are you kidding me? There's no question. Even if Austin Butler tomorrow won the best actor at the Academy Award, still Pattinson. Yep. Pattinson twice. Yep. In fact, call Butler and tell him I said, hell no. Let's see what else he said. So, yeah, I don't think they could be mentioned in the same sentence. I said this years ago with Jordan Peele, he had Get Out, and then he had Us, and it was like, everyone's like, whoa, one of the greatest filmmakers ever. And it's like, whoa, let's slow our roll here.
There's two.
I'm excited, too.
Right.
I'm excited as much as everyone else because it looks like we could have one, but it's two. Right. We got two films. The next three films. M. Night Shyamalan put out like 5 films before we knew it was a sham.
Yeah, right. Right. We everyone did that with him too. Everyone did the first one.
Times Magazine. Times Magazine after I See Dead People. Yeah, ran the best next director. Like he was the next, Spielberg and all of this shit.
I think they directly called him.
Yes, I think so. And it filled his head so much that he ended up writing himself into The Lady in the Water as the greatest. His character's role was the greatest writer to ever live. So that's not what you want to do. And all I'm saying is the same thing with Peele. We could see 5 movies that are the worst movies we've ever seen. So let's calm down. And this is why I think body of work is so important, guys. Pattinson, again, has it. He's proved it. Even if you want to bring up the Twilight shit, he was great in that shit. He was a great actor for what those shits was.
Right.
He brought it all to that performance. I mean, there's very little good things to say about those series besides one of them, not Pattinson. He's great. He's
the
just
other
so
one
good.
is how handsome he is.
Yeah. Right. Let's see. He says Rami Malek has a good body of work too. Like Mr. Robot.
Pretty good body.
I've never seen Mr. Robot.
And
that's the problem is that he's never played anything. Again, Pattinson earned the role of playing Batman, man. There's no way Rami Malek pulls that off tomorrow or in the next 5 years, bro. Like it's just I think it takes a real dedication to your craft of filmmaking in smaller, more indie films. Look at what Daniel Radcliffe has done. These guys, the same thing. These guys made the decision to get out of the big thing. I was great in it, though. I'm Harry Potter, bro.
Yeah.
But let me leave that and show you my chops. Let me get in some real shit so I can show you I'm one of the best actors on the planet. I ain't just Harry Potter, bro.
Right.
And Daniel Radcliffe, Swiss Army Man.
Yeah.
I mean, just you name it. You can rattle off movies that are so great because he's one of the best actors on the planet. He's just not recognized for it. And he's waiting for his moment. We've been talking about him being Wolverine for the past 3 years. And he doesn't want to. That's the difference. And neither did Pattinson, really. Pattinson's like, I don't really want to. But you know what? I want to be Batman, you know? But at the end of the day, if we get that same thing if we find out Radcliffe's Wolverine tomorrow, it would be the same thing. Right. It would be hard pressed to sit here and say, after watching the greatest Wolverine movie I've ever seen, starring Daniel Radcliffe, to say, well, this Austin Butler kid gets the nom over. What? My boy Daniel done put in the work, man. Right. You know what it takes to get a nomination for the Academy Awards, guys?
Lifetime.
It takes so much work. It does not take one luck strike of a moment. And to me, that's what I think Rami Malek and Austin Butler and some of these guys are. Like I said, I don't know if Rami Malek will ever have the kind of career or body of work that Daniel Radcliffe or Robert Pattinson has. I just don't see it. And he's started in, I mean, I don't ever see Rami Malek or Austin Butler being in a Swiss Army Man type movie or Good Times. They seem like Bond villain kind of movie guys. I mean, that seems like what they're fit for. And at the end of the day, that's kind of like, to me as an actor. But Pattinson is a guy who can do it all. He can play your Batman, but he can play your, Jane Doe or whatever, John Doe in just some random ass movie about bank robberies.
Yeah.
And he can still play that just as good, where I don't know if Austin Butler and Rami Malek can really bring those indie kind of performance like Swiss Army Man and stuff like that.
I'll say this, two things. Rami Malek, one, that is currently what he's doing. He had his moment with Mr. Robot and that, and then he dropped right down into the independent scene. That's what he's doing. He's doing, like, I can't remember what it's called, but it is so freaking crazy. It's like he plays like a it's similar kind of to Mr. Robot. He plays like the schizophrenic guy who's kind of losing it, and he can't tell like between like he's a coder, and he meets this dude and he's not sure if he's real or not because he's telling him like secrets of the universe. He's like, I don't know if this is real. He kind of goes crazy. It's very interesting. He's real good in it. But I would say I think Rami Malek's a little bit more pigeonholed because he's got a very particular look. But I will say this: I don't know with Butler, and 100% that part of your point has 100% validity because I haven't seen a lot of Butler. Yeah. I've only seen this one performance. Now, if I was going off this one performance, I would be like, damn, bro, this dude's got some chops. Let's put him in.
But this is why body of work is so important.
Like you say, if you give me those two, as much as I love this performance, I have to go with this one because I loved this performance just as much and all of these other ones that I've seen as well. So.
It's kind of like, being in a long relationship and being married to someone and having kids with him. And all of a sudden, this young girl comes around and gives you attention. And it's like, well, look, I like that. It's really cool. And it's the hot thing right now. But my wife's been with me for 30 years, putting up with this, raising my kids and all this. And at the end of the day, it's the ties that you have to the body of work. I've seen this dude put in serious performances in movies that no one's seen. Right. No one's gonna see, bro. They still don't care. He's Batman now, and no one cares about Good Times. No one's going to go see that.
Sucks. Please go watch Good Times.
Right. Or Swiss Army. Again, if Radcliffe became Wolverine tomorrow, no one's going to go watch. No one cares. They're going to be like, oh, the Harry Potter kid? No, you can't make him Wolverine. That's what they're going to do. They're going to bitch about it because they're stupid. Right. And they don't know good acting clearly,
and
man.
Even do like 2 minutes of research.
And that's what Butler seems like to me. He seems more like a cookie cutter version of a Hollywood actor. He just looks like that dude that's the star of that movie. You know what I mean? Like,
I get it. He does have a very kind of like classic look to him.
But Pattinson could do it all. Dude could be like a drug dealer. He could be hot. He could be he could be Batman.
Right.
Anyways.
Here's what I'll say. Austin Butler, I feel he's got the potential to do that. Whether or not he does, Whereas, like, I don't know. Let's find another example here of someone who didn't have the potential to do something like that. Well, you know what? We've been doing Rami Malek. Let's keep it Rami Malek. Rami Malek is a tremendous actor, but again, because he's pigeonholed, he didn't ever have the potential to really go off and, well, now he's going to be a sex icon. Now he's not big enough to play any version of Batman. He never would look like it ever. He couldn't look like he was beating someone up. He doesn't have that kind of gravitas to play.
But see, people said that about Pattinson.
But okay, well, they were always stupid for saying that. Pattinson's a really big dude. Like he's
like
tall
6'2",
and lanky,
right?
But he's got long
athletic.
arms. Whereas maybe Malik's short, he's small. He looks in his face. He looks frightened almost all the time. There's a lot of roles that guy can't play. Whereas Austin Butler, I get this feeling that he has the mask ability to take that off and be someone completely different. I think he does. So I think I would put him almost as like a young Pattinson in a lot of ways, whereas I would put Rami Malek in a whole different kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think Butler has a chance. But I will say, if you're going to, I mean, I would maybe take one of these other ones out, but that's just because I haven't seen it. But if we're going to keep the other ones, and you're telling me you had one spot left and you could put Robert Pattinson as Batman or you could put Austin Butler as Elvis, I'd be a little annoyed. Yeah. I'd be at least a little bit.
No doubt.
Because it is like you said, he has earned it with the years of it, you know, whereas Butler, I wish I would probably maybe take out like Paul Mescal. You know, just throw, you know, and then put him in there because I think Austin Butler deserves the nom because that young guy, this may be his only opportunity theoretically to ever get there, and he did push it. He did give a performance worthy of a nom, but without him in there, it does feel a little odd.
Let's see. Lucas also says Austin Butler is not the only standout performance in that movie. What about Tom Hanks? Again, haven't seen the movie, but
pretty good.
You know, I here's what I want to say. In a year that's still post-pandemic and we're dealing with a lot of shit, I guess it makes sense. But man, 2 or 3 years ago, if Elvis would have came out, would we be talking about it like this?
No.
I don't think so, man. I think it just got lucky too in the time that we're in that, you know, there wasn't a lot of great movies out this year.
Right.
It really wasn't. It was a down year at the theater, man. I mean, it really was. So I think it kind of slips in there too a little bit. Let's see. Lucas says, I'm just saying that Pattinson was rumored to be up for the character that Butler has now been cast as. What's that? Well, I don't know what character that is, but I mean, that happens all the time in Hollywood, right? Lucas says, I actually love Twilight, LOL. Hey, man, I remember going to see literally all those movies in theaters when I was young, but I don't ever remember any of them being good. They were all just like, okay, and sometimes kind of fun, but none of them were like, you know, gotta go get this on Blu-ray later. Louis, what's up, buddy? Louis Berry says, wish Maverick got director, crew, cinematographer, the Batman picture, director, cinematographer, Goth for Pearl, and Ralph for the Menu. Oh yeah, I still haven't seen the menu yet. He says he also says Malik would be great as a Scarecrow.
Scarecrow.
Right, for Batman. Yeah. Dano, Farrow, Kravitz are great in the back. Yeah, right. Zoe Kravitz was wonderful. Man, great point.
I'm sorry, Zoe. We should have mentioned you, dude.
Very great in that movie as well. Let's see. Hanks got a Razzie nom for Elvis and Pinocchio. There you go.
That's rough.
So apparently his performance wasn't that great.
Pinocchio. That's rough, bro.
Louis Berry says, I want Austin Butler as Soups. I mean, there you go. Hey, that's pretty high praise, man. I'm gonna have to check this movie out just to see if Austin Butler is as good as you guys are saying he is.
Man. He's really good.
I'd
maybe be okay with if it was the same universe as our boy Robbie P. like an Austin Butler Soups. He's a little skinnier than normal, but hey, you know?
we get another Batman versus Superman, Pattinson versus.
Yeah.
Please don't. Please don't. I think that like I said, I think Pattinson should have probably been nominated. He says, Louis also says, which Decision to Leave got foreign language film? Yeah, I haven't seen that as well either yet. I haven't seen, I mean, it's like I said, it's been a real down year, and most of the stuff that I did see, I was just very mad about, especially with the Marvel and the superhero genre stuff this year. Was just very blah. I mean, honestly, if I didn't see everything everywhere all at once, I don't know if I would have had any hype to continue to see movies this year. I mean, it really hyped me up and made me remember, like, yeah, this is what a movie theater experience and a good movie is like. Right. And then, outside of that and the Batman, honestly, I don't know if I really got that again outside of like some small fun ones, like Violent Night and, Megan was great. Actually, that came out in January, but stuff like Megan, just little kind of quirky fun stuff, but great. Not
those are like
Oscar.
Fun.
Yeah. Cool. Where the Batman again, I always describe my experience with it is, I didn't want to stay because I knew how long it was. I start walking down the stairs and it turns on at the theater and I see it and I just slowly start walking up back to my seat because it was in this moment I realized there was no fucking way that I wasn't going to watch this movie. And at that point, only like 40 seconds had passed. I mean, it was so good. God, again, talking about it so much makes me want to watch it again. I've honestly only seen it that one time. I have this big ass 4K box set of it. I loved it so much. I need to watch the movie again. Louis also says Nicholas Hoult as Batman. That could be interesting. Black Panthers 2 and Angela deserves the Oscar. She does. I think that one's a no-brainer. That's a clear win for me. She was the best on the list that I've seen at least. And Angela Bassett was the best part of Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever. That's for sure. He also says MOM is okay and L and T sucked. What is MOM? Multiverse of Madness? Oh, yeah. It wasn't great. And okay, what is okay?
Love and Thunder. It's just all right.
I see. L and T, Love and Thunder sucked. Yeah,
I'm
right.
not gonna lie.
I feel the same way about both of those.
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness was definitely, it was all right. And then Thor was like, the worst part about Thor was for sure that I was so freaking hype. I mean, you could ask everyone around the channel. Yep. Dude, I was playing that trailer for everyone. I was forcing people to watch it. God, I was so hyped for that damn movie. I bought a $70 popcorn bucket. So much shit was going on for hypeness for that movie. And God, it was one of the most disappointing films of the year. Especially coming from Ragnarok, right? Which is probably like my favorite MCU movie, honestly.
That's one of them.
Let's see. Lucas says, really overall, The Batman was my favorite movie to come out this year, and I don't think I've ever seen a deserving movie snubbed like this. Yeah, I agree that, we said it right when it came out, too. We were like, well, this will be it. This will be the first one since Black Panther to be nominated for Best Picture.
Right, I thought for sure.
And I said it, and I stand by it. It is the best comic book movie I've seen since Logan. And I haven't seen anything on that real level of like realness and just the feel of it.
A real
like it felt movie. Like a movie, man. It didn't feel like a Batman thing. It felt like a fucking movie, and this dude just so happened to be Batman.
Yeah, right.
And that's how Logan was. It felt, man. I mean, it's even. Shit, it's even better than the Batman, and it has so much build on it too, right? Because we've known him as Logan for so long, and we know this is the end, and it's just so much. And that movie is so beautiful too. And I don't think I've seen, when it comes to comic book movies, like being movies, man, those two are like the two of the best movies ever made.
God.
In that genre. He said, Louis also says Lizzie stole MOM. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Belle was good in Love and Thunder, but sucked otherwise. I mean, Belle was okay, but the character, it was all for naught, man. It just wasn't a great movie. That's at the end of the day, it just wasn't good enough of a movie.
It felt like it was making fun of all of the things they'd done, and not in like a fun way. You know, it
Right.
felt like it was like a bully.
It was like my wife said it the best, and she's not a fucking pundit like us, and she said, well, it felt like a Thor parody movie.
Yes,
It's like,
that's exactly
right.
Yes, yeah,
You
I
couldn't have put it
remember saying
better. It was a Thor parody
Yeah, it
movie.
was.
Why would you do that?
And a
It's a
mean-spirited
Thor
one.
movie. Like,
It was a Thor parody in the way that like blackface is a parody of like black people.
Right.
You know, it was not comfortable.
To Thor fans,
Right.
it's like,
I
what
was
the
like-
fuck you done to my character? Like, you just made it a joke. It was already a joke to an extent.
Right.
And now it's like so much of a joke that it's not fun. It's
No.
it's
It's
stupid.
actually making me mad. You know, like there's moments in there like, I mean, Jane's such an interesting character, and they did a pretty good job of developing her up to this point, and then it's like, yeah, she's got cancer, you know, she's got cancer. It's not kind of funny. She's got cancer. Oh, she's got the hammer now. Oh, she's dead.
Right.
She's dead. And that's it. You're like, whoa, this is like the love of the God of Thunder's entire existence, and you're gonna like just let her die in a joke? Like, this is not in any way the MCU I've grown to know.
Right. Noah says that he beat Elden Ring listening to us. Well, there's no other way to do it. Louis also says, I hope to get the Batman Heart of Ice with Patrick Stewart as Mr. Freeze. That would be interesting. Lucas says, Logan and Batman are the top tier comic book movies. Yeah, that's for sure. Louis says, those in the Dark Knight trilogy. I'm not the biggest fan of the Dark Knight trilogy movies. Like, there's that second one, definitely the best one. There's things that I love and hate about them, that's for sure. Let's see. Lucas says Patrick Stewart as Mr. Freeze. That sounds amazing, right?
does sound
Too bad he's getting too old to do it, man. Like, I think him playing Picard may be like, this may be it for him. Like, I don't know if we see much Patrick Stewart moving forward. The fact that he did come back for Multiverse of Madness and give us that little cool floaty out 90s animated series version was fucking awesome. Right. And God, what a great human being to still, we're just honestly lucky to have him still.
Right.
The fact that he still draws air into his lungs and is willing to use that air to go, yeah, I'll do Patrick Stewart again.
Right. I'll be myself.
I'll be myself again.
One more time.
I'll be Professor X or whoever. It's just great. So same thing we talked about on the channel last week was oh God, what is Mufasa's name? Darth Vader.
Oh, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones' birthday. He's like 95 years old or whatever. I'm like, look, dude, I'm just glad his heart is still pumping blood to his brain, and that brain is able to draw thoughts to go.
Yes.
As long as we get more, he did reprise his role for Obi-Wan in the last year or so, which was very cool. And I said it and I can't mean it more. He's played two of the most iconic movie characters ever. And one was the greatest villain ever in Darth Vader, and one was one of the greatest heroes ever in Mufasa. Mm-hmm. Very great career, and glad to see these guys still alive. And Mr. Freeze, that would have been great in the prime. Hey, listen, at this point, give me a other world where we still have Arnold Schwarzenegger. He'll be back as Mr. Freeze. Hell's frozen over. Time to kick some ice.
Starting to get some interest peaked from me here.
Let's see. Louis also says, SNL skit of Thor, right? Yeah, that's what it kind of felt like. He says also, hope to get the Court of Owls for the Batman 3 and Joker and the Riddler for Batman 4. That'd be interesting too. I seen that Barry Keoghan was talking a lot about wanting to reprise his role as the Joker too. So hopefully we get some more of that too. He seemed great. I hope to get Jamie Campbell Bower as Scarecrow. Who's Jamie Campbell Bower? I'm not even sure who that is. And he also says, hope to get Mia Goth as Harley Quinn. Man, in all of this shit, I still don't see them getting rid of Margot Robbie as that character. No. It's the only one. I think they all leave, possibly, and she still stays somehow. So, Noah also says, apparently not. I've been on The Last Boss for 2 months. Yeah, well, you need to listen to Screen Talk Live more. That's what happened.
That's all I'm hearing.
Louis says James is retired as Vader. Yeah, he's retired now as everyone, hopefully. 95 years old. Yeah, it's time to sit down and hang up the red lightsaber and the tan paws.
Yes, those as well. And the bomb. He was also in Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah,
very
that's right.
young.
That's right. So yeah, glad that he's still out there doing stuff. But guys, we are getting close to the end, getting ready to wrap up here. Louis also says Jamie Campbell-Bower is Vecna from Stranger Things. Oh my God. Don't know the dude's name, but what an actor. The dude that plays Vecna, that plays a one.
Okay.
Have you seen the newest season of Stranger Things? Oh, that's why. But yeah, he's great. Who'd you say you wanted him to play? Jamie Campbell-Bower, Scarecrow. Yeah, give it to me. He's great. He could play anything, man. He's a very good, very talented actor. That's for sure. But guys, I see there's 6 of you guys in here. Guys, give me that thumbs up button. Please hit that thumbs up button for me. I appreciate you guys being here. It's been a fun show, long show today. Lots of chat interactions. It's so much fun when we have you guys here interacting in the chat so we can, converse and have this movie brother loving show. That's kind of what we want to do here, is have a community where we can all go talk and chill and hang out and talk about the movies we love, and sometimes, but not quite as often, the movies we hate.
That's right.
But yeah, we're going to get out of here. We should be back here tomorrow. I think Lucas will be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, I believe. Louis also says I hope he gets nominated for Stranger Things 4 and Millie and say, yeah, for sure. No doubt. And I can't wait for that news. If you guys have seen, Trevor, I can't believe you haven't seen that. That's probably the best season of Stranger Things.
I've only seen the first season.
Ha!
Yeah.
Well, outside of this one that I'm talking about, you've seen the best season.
That's right. That's right.
I always said when I first seen it,
bases.
if that they ended it at that first season, maybe the greatest series ever.
Yeah.
I always said that about Twin Peaks too when I first seen it. Same thing. If they ended first season, maybe just one of the greatest seasons ever. And then I feel the same way about Battlestar Galactica. If they ended that first season, maybe one of the greatest series ever made. Let's see.
They should have Freaks and Geeks it.
Let's see. He also says, Louis says, hope to get Sadie Sink as Mary Jane. That would be pretty cool. Lucas says, I will be there. Yes. So we will have Lucas here. Noah also says, running up that hill. Right. I love that those things exist. Forget her name. Kate. Right. Kate.
Oh, Kate Moss?
Bush. Kate Bush, right? I seen an interview with her.
Different kind of
and
shrubbery.
she like woke up, she's a lot older now and doesn't have the career obviously that she used to have.
Right.
So, her residuals are what they are, like per, day she makes, some thousands of dollars or whatever. Right. And she woke up, one day after they played her song, and literally the next morning she had like $3 million in her banking account from her publicist. And she's like, whoa, this is a mistake. She knew nothing about it. And she calls them and she's like, yo, you guys accidentally they're like, well, no, the Stranger Things shit is blowing up. And she's like, what? Didn't even know.
Didn't tell
I
you.
think that's really cool sometimes when that happens. I do, and it does push me onto a subject that I often talk about, how we don't appreciate artists enough in their time, man.
No.
And this is a perfect example of it. So now Kate Bush is awesome. Screw you, world.
Right.
Screw you, man. Kate Bush has always been awesome. She's got a bush.
Right.
Let's go. Let's see. Louis says, best show of the year with HOTD and BCS season 6. House of the Dragon.
Okay.
Didn't see House of the Dragon.
Haven't seen it
And BCS, that would be
Crappy show.
Big Crappy Show.
Bishop Carol Shitheads. Okay, what has 6 seasons?
Right? Yeah.
I can't think of it at all.
He also says he wants Alexander Skarsgård as Aquaman. Really
Better Call
interesting.
Saul. That would be an interesting.
Oh, Better Call Saul. That's right. He also says Jamie Alexander as Wonder Woman. That could be cool. Michael B. Jordan as Cyborg.
That'd be kind of fun.
And then he says Timothy Chalamet. Just that. There's nothing else said. We don't need him to play anyone particular. Just give me more Timothy Chalamet, says Louis.
As Flash. That's who you put there.
Oh, I see.
Which I disagree, actually. I love Timothy Chalamet. Not the right role for that.
Listen, I would literally take anyone that does not abduct people's daughters, feed them LSD, and, break into people's houses and steal their liquor. Anyone that's not doing that, I will take at this point in time particular.
Warner Brothers.
And I
My
will
name's
say
Trevor.
that Timothy Chalamet is the next Daniel Day-Lewis, and he's one of the greatest actors on the planet.
Yeah, he
so
is.
He could definitely play anything.
I just...
I mean, he could be
I don't like him
Superman.
for that, right? Like, that's well, right. To be fair, you're right. Timothy Chalamet could act well.
Yes.
I'm just personally, I feel there's like other people.
Well, it sucks too because, like I often said, as much as I hate Ezra Miller, he's so good as the Flash.
Yeah,
he plays Barry great. Barry is he is Barry.
I love right, especially
bad.
in the extended cut of Justice League. Like he's the heart and soul of that thing. Like it's really, really like he's very good.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, my third favorite movie of all time is Perks of Being a Wallflower, and he is a humongous reason that it is that way because he brings it. Like him and his chemistry with Emma Watson in that movie are really what makes that movie ultimate. I mean, there's a lot of good things about that movie, but that's what you keep coming back for.
Right. For sure. Yeah. Guys, it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, I appreciate being here. I'm starting to smell dinner and I'm getting hungry. So I'm going to get off of here. I have been joined today by my friend and co-host, Trevor Farney. Trevor, where can people find you at, buddy?
Usually kind of down on Broadway. I'm usually kind of passed out in a gut. Oh, you meant on the internet. Yeah. No, you can find me at the Mad Making Mind Productions on Instagram. And then through there, I have a link. You can follow everything else.
Awesome, guys. And you guys know where to follow me. I am at Twitter, at Keaton Toothman. Follow me there. Make sure you guys subscribe. Guys, hit that thumbs up button for me. Again, there's 5 of you guys still in here. Make sure there's 5 thumbs up before we leave out of here. That's for sure. And we will be back here tomorrow with Lucas, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let's see. Louis wants me to read a comment before I go. Okay, Louis.
I also want to talk about
WB has 11 months and the money. We know they got that. Reshoot Mara scenes in Aquaman 2 with Deborah Ann Wall. Yeah, I was going to say Will. No? Okay.
Yes.
And look,
Yes,
all I want to say about it is I don't care. I couldn't care any more less than I do right now. In fact, if we found out that she shit on every man's bed that she's ever been with, I couldn't care less, and I wish she was shitting in my... No, I'm joking. But what I do want to say is I didn't like Aquaman, bro. Sorry, I wanted to like it. I would rather have your version with Alexander Skarsgård as Aquaman.
And Deborah Ann Wall,
let's do that version, and maybe you would have my interest in any of this. But as for now, man, that movie just did not do it for me. I did not like it, and I promise you, I cannot express enough. You mark these words on this January cold day on January 24th, 2023. When this movie comes out on Christmas this year, I will not be in attendance for it, and I will not see it until maybe it comes out on HBO Max. And whether they could cast me in it, and I still probably wouldn't go and see it at this point. That's how little interest I have in it. But Trevor, you have a lot more interest in Aquaman 2 than me. What are your thoughts about what Louis is saying here? Maybe in this 11 months, they use their money to reshoot all those scenes.
I wouldn't say my interest in Aquaman the movie period.
I'm sorry. Let me go back. You have a lot of interest in wanting very hot women to shit in your bed.
That's true. That's true. I'm glad it's out there now, ladies. My number is. I'm just kidding. I'm not though. So, as far as the movie of Aquaman 2, I don't really care, and I was sick of the whole Johnny Depp thing of I love Johnny Depp to death, and I don't give a shit about the woman, whatever, I don't care. But all of that, it is what it is. It's all gone. I don't care. if they come out with that movie and everyone says it's cool, I'm going to go watch it, whatever. I'm not particularly interested in it because that first one felt in every way like they were doing everything they could to make Aquaman seem cool, right?
Yeah.
And so I just did, like, and as much, I actually really like Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Really like him. I don't think he's the best actor in the world, but he's really good if you give him the right role. I think he was okay in that, but again, it was just like they obviously cast him because he's like the coolest dude in human history, and they're like, let's make it cool.
He's a good-looking Aquaman.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
he
And
looks great as Aquaman.
I think that maybe if you have a better written script, he does it a little better because in Dune,
and
he's
that
quite
being
good.
said, Louis, the fact of the matter is, bro, that this movie is not going to be make or break on Amber Heard's performance or scenes. You cut her completely out of this.
It never was.
Yeah, it never was, and no one ever cared.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, when everyone was up in arms about it, I swear to God, I remember going, she was in Aquaman?
What are you talking about?
I know her. I feel like I would remember seeing her and be like,
Right.
but I didn't.
She's very attractive.
Yeah, right. But I don't. You know what? It was because that movie was so blah. I did see. I've been catching back up on Family Guy, and they had a newer episode up where it just cut to Peter. He's in the living room on the couch, and this is for you, Trevor. He's sitting in the living room on the couch. And we just cut to that scene, and you can hear him watching the TV, and the TV says, we now get back to Christopher Nolan's Tenet. And Peter immediately goes, I'm already confused. That's it. That's all it took was, here we are. I'm not sure what's going on anymore. Why would you do all this to me? But yeah, so.
I will say about Deborah Ann Wall, just because that is the part that interests me. I don't care about Aquaman, but if you throw Deborah Ann Wall in there in anything, for a couple of reasons. One, because my God, she might be the most beautiful woman on the planet Earth. But two, because she's super freaking talented too. So, that would be such a big step up. It's, again, I don't think you need it because her character didn't play a big role in it. But I mean, shit, you throw Deborah Ann Wall in there, suddenly at least one of your weak points turned into the strong point.
And I think, honestly, I said this a while ago, and I know you you had disagreed with me at the time, and we'll see how you feel today, but I think it's going to be a while before we really see Amber Heard or Johnny Depp back in a film. I mean, I know she's in Aquaman 2, but she was in Aquaman 2 already, you know? You're talking about reshooting. Like, that's way different, and I don't see that happening. But moving forward into a new Aquaman movie or into any other movie ever made, it's going to be tough for Amber Heard or Johnny Depp moving forward to really land a role in a movie as big as Aquaman. So I
think her more than him. A lot more than him.
Well, I think him more than her because he's a movie star, and she never was. She was always this, like, B side character. And so I think, again, you could throw her in an Aquaman, and someone like me will go, wait, she was in that? But you can't put Johnny Depp in anything without me immediately going, oh, Johnny Depp's in that. Right. So I think that's the big difference is that it makes it hard for people. Some people didn't even know who Amber Heard was. They were like, "Oh, Johnny Depp's wife."
Right. Oh, she's an actress.
What's she in? Oh, right. Oh, she was the girlfriend from Pineapple Express.
Right.
Like what? I don't. Again, listen. Not to talk any shit on her, but she was kind of a nobody before this. She's kind of going to be a nobody after this. Right. That's why I think Johnny Depp will take the bigger heat of it because he was Johnny Depp before this, and I think he will take a little bit of a hiatus. But I think eventually we will see
a John Zonnich. A John Zonnich. A Depassance.
A Depassance. Yeah, I think we could. I think we could see it. So, but yeah, guys, thank you, Louis, for being here.
Yeah, buddy, thanks.
He does say a couple other things. They deserve that. WD did to Depp. Heard ruined Aquaman, and Jason should play Lobo. Jason was very interested in playing a villain character in the new DCU that James Gunn is creating, so I could see him doing something like that. They reshoot Spacey with Plummer and And what is this?
AT.
MITW?
There's a lot of acronyms here, man.
Yeah, too many acronyms. I
Yeah,
don't know
dude,
what that is.
These are an acronym is a commonly known fact. These are not, I don't know if you're running in circles.
Yeah,
where
you know, like
they're
LOL.
only right. I struggled with SMH for a while. I was like, I'm too embarrassed to ask anybody what this means.
I still get people that don't know the difference. Like, people think it's shaking my head, and I guess it could be.
Right.
But the one on iPhone, if you type in SMH, you get the guy where he's doing this.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is smacking. That's like, oh, God, you idiot. And it's smacking my head.
my head.
So people still think it's this, but really it's this. It's like, oh, my fucking God, you're an idiot.
Right,
Where
right.
this is like, shame on you, bro. Shame on you. And it's a big difference
Right.
because that face emoji really what made me realize that it's this one.
Right.
You know, it's not.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. But guys,
All the
we've
money
gone
in
on
the
too
world.
far. We will be back here. Guys, join us back tomorrow. We'd love to see Louie, Noah, Lucas, all you guys here tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time with our co-host, Lucas Farney, back in the building. So we will see you guys then.